What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video. Now today we're going to be covering what would happen if Naruto was a Hatake. And you guys might be like, dude, that wouldn't change nothing. And you're right, it literally wouldn't change anything if we didn't add a very special secret sauce to the mix and make Naruto be raised by Kakashi. Why? Because I genuinely feel like Kakashi in this time, seeing as he's from the same bloodline, would kind of have it in himself to want to raise Naruto and not let him go through what it feels like to not have somebody home when you come home, you know what I mean? Like, not have to be raised by himself and stuff like that. So I think that Naruto being kind of like picked up and adopted by Kakashi once he turns 4 years old would be kind of a cool change to the situation. That said though, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys want access to part 2 early, it is actually going to be on the channel for members only. So if you want that, then that is there. And also, not to mention, definitely make sure to slap up that like button, seeing as the goal for today's video is actually going to be 1,000 likes. Once you guys hit that, I'll definitely make sure to drop part 2. And if you guys want to be a little more generous and you guys notice, hey, it's over 1,000 likes, I want to hit more, well, please do, because the algorithm has been effing me lately. But with all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, let's get started.
Hey Ross, sauce it up.
So the what if, how should I start this? What should I do? And how should I make this what if different from all the other what ifs that I have on the channel? Well, very simple. I have actually already started thinking about this, and I think that I've actually found a cool way to keep this what if interesting, as well as keeping it different than all of the other ones that I've already made. Now, the way that I'm going to be starting the premise of this what if is obviously the Nine Tails attack. That still happens. I really see no reason why I should change that. So we're going to be keeping that exactly the same. And when it comes to Naruto's childhood and in early years and stuff like that, I definitely still want Naruto to essentially be raised by Hiruzen. I think that that's definitely going to be something good for the story, seeing as I don't want to put Naruto on Kakashi that early on, since Kakashi wasn't even in the Anbu or stuff like that. Like, I mean, he was, but he wasn't like old enough to even take care of a kid. I mean, technically, you really don't need to be a specific age to take care of a kid, but like, I kind of just want Kakashi to have like a grace period of 4 years before like he has to take care of Naruto. In the original, we all know that Naruto essentially got leaked as being the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki once he turns 4 years old, because Danzo wanted to pin the hatred of the village onto one person so that the village could prosper and honestly, you know, just be chilling, right? And honestly, was it a bad idea? Not really. It wasn't like the worst idea you could have possibly had, but I mean, also you could have probably spared Naruto a lot of pain and hardship had you not done that. But regardless though, we are going to be going under the conclusion and the idea that this time around Naruto still is going to essentially be like singled out as the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki, and he's still going to be having the whiskers, with the only real change to Naruto being that he's actually going to be the son of Minato, Quicksilver, not the Yellow Flash. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys could probably see what I did there, like, you know, like Quicksilver, you know, not the Flash, because, you know, silver. But anyways, yeah, obviously his hair is silver, so that's the only reason I'm going to be doing that. And other than that, Naruto will just kind of have everything pretty much go by just like it would be in the original. However, one day when Naruto would be in his house, about 3 days once Hiruzen decided to leave him there, once Kakashi catches wind of this when he returns from a mission that the son of Minato, his master, is pretty much living by himself at the age of 4 years old, Kakashi can kind of understand. Like, he kind of like listens to what happened with him, and he's like, you know, I don't want him to grow up in a house by himself, coming home to nobody, to no cooked meals, to like coming home to just being lonely. Like, no, Kakashi has been having that for so long, and Kakashi just thinks that if Minato was still here, he would probably want Kakashi to, you know, do something for his son, right? And Kakashi is just kind of like, you know what, like, even though I'm young, I'm gonna take on the responsibility of being the caretaker of Naruto. I'm gonna raise the son of Minato in the image that I think Minato would be proud of. So when Naruto's 4, Kakashi's gonna enter the room, and he's already going to be in like his teenage years, I think. I'm not too sure, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he is he's like 13 by the time that Minato's there, so he'd be like 17, I'm pretty sure, right? So Kakashi would already be like 17, 18 years old, so he's pretty much already an adult and capable of taking care of Naruto and himself and stuff like that. And so I think that Kakashi would be able to get through to Hiruzen once he ends up going to the office, right? And I think it would go down something like this. Like if this was animated, we would obviously see Kakashi pretty much appearing in the window with Hiruzen being like, Kakashi, you want to speak to me? And him pretty much entering and talking to Hiruzen about the situation concerning Naruto, talking about how he's the son of the 4th and he should be living with somebody, at least in an adoption center or something. And Hiruzen says that they tried, but nobody was willing to adopt him. That's when Kakashi says, I'll do it. And Hiruzen would be like, Kakashi, you are a ninja. You already have far too many responsibilities on your plate. Like, how am I supposed to allow you to take care of a kid and add all this extra like stuff onto your plate? And Kakashi would just be like, look, I might not always be there for the kid, but it would be better to have somebody there sometimes than to not have anybody there. I know what it was like to grow up without a family figure, a father figure, or a mother figure in your life once my father committed seppuku, and I don't want Naruto to have to live that same life. It gets lonely. And, you know, Hiruzen would kind of hit his pipe, right? Like in this like cool scene, and he'd be like, very well, Kakashi. You know, he kind of like signs the papers, and from here he would go on to pretty much visit Naruto's at his house. And I think that it would go down something like Naruto like opens the door to Kakashi, and you just see like these sad eyes. Like Naruto just looks at him with this just look of like just disappointed, sad, like Hiruzen just failed him because he just left him by himself. Who does that? The dude is 4 years old. I mean, I know it's a ninja world and that things are a lot different, but that's just cold. But regardless though, you know, once Kakashi enters, he would end up seeing the living conditions that Naruto's in, and because he just moved in there, the house would be clean still, but it would just be a mess around the kitchen area because Naruto struggled to make himself some food. And Kakashi would walk over, you know, turn the stove on and be like, look, how about I make you a little home cooked meal today? And, you know, Naruto would perk up and be like, really? And, you know, from here, Kakashi would just go on to make some food for him, Naruto, and then be like, look, Naruto, I'm actually here to adopt you. And Naruto would say, what's that? And Kakashi would then begin to explain, I'm here to pretty much like be with you. Like, I'm going to be not your dad. Like, he would think about it. He'd be like, I'm not going to be your dad, but think of me as a big brother, right? And Naruto would be like, what's your name? And, you know, Kakashi would just give him like that eye smile and be like, call me Kakashi, or call me big bro, or like Kakashi, right? And I just see Naruto looking at him and being like, all right then, and, you know, being like, all right, big bro. And Kakashi would just have this like smile on his face. As he can literally see Naruto in Minato. Like, he looks at him, and every time he sees Naruto, he can just see Minato, and it just brings a smile of happiness to his face because it's just been so long since he's seen his master, and just getting the chance to even see a brief glimpse would be just cool. But regardless though, what would end up happening after this is essentially that Naruto would go on to essentially go live with Kakashi, right? Now, during the time that he's going to be living with Kakashi, I'm not going to be saying that he just stays there and like that's really all that happens. No, it actually would be something cool, because what I think would generally end up happening is that Kakashi, once noticing how far behind Naruto would be in terms of his ninja skills and in terms of his chakra control, Kakashi actually being there firsthand to witness everything would actually take a keen interest on Naruto and be willing to actually teach him a couple of things and pretty much be the father figure or role model for Naruto to pretty much continue training and put in the work, even though Naruto never would have known how to. He would actually know how to train this time around, and I think that this would be very beneficial to him, because after a couple of years of training with Kakashi, I think that Naruto, by the time that he enters the academy, would actually be ready to mold chakra, and he would be able to keep up with his other classmates. However, I think that when Naruto would start the academy, I definitely think that Naruto's treatment of the villagers wouldn't hurt him as much, because at least he knows that he has two people in his life that don't care about that being Hiruzen and Kakashi. And so, Naruto doesn't care too much. He just does his best, and he shows that he is actually a very, very good student. He's actually at the top of his class, and he keeps up with the studies because Kakashi tells him that being a ninja isn't all brawn, it's also brain. So Naruto would actually end up picking up habits that Kakashi would end up instilling in himself, and Kakashi would end up having the same work ethic that Kakashi would have had at a young age, where, okay, he has talent, but he also needs hard work, because hard work will always beat talent any day. But what happens if you give hard work to somebody talented? Yeah, you get a beast like Kakashi. It's insane. But regardless though, once he enters the academy, I genuinely do see a rivalry between Sasuke and Naruto forming, where like the first day that they both have to show off their skills, Naruto would actually be able to do better than Sasuke in some categories, and Sasuke would beat Naruto in others, which would lead them both to kind of have a little bit of disdain for each other, and people to be like, wow, like Sasuke's so cool, and other people saying, yeah, but did you see that one kid that beat Sasuke? And I think that through the means of Naruto being a very capable shinobi and not needing the attention of others as much as he would in the original, he would be able to not be somebody who his classmates generally see as a nuisance, or somebody that shouldn't be there, or somebody who, in Sakura's words, is annoying. So I think that Naruto this time around would actually have the chance to have a couple more friends that he would in the original, just due to his popularity, and because his personality would just be so contagious that people would just want to be around Naruto, because Naruto doesn't act his age, considering he hangs out with Kakashi all the time. So Naruto would be a little bit of a cool kid, but also not really. He'd be like that cool kid who like people know is cool, but they don't really want to hang out with him because of like he has like this mysteriousness around him where people don't know what he's really all about. And Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry would have flourished during this time. I think that Naruto and Sasuke would have ended up pretty much going at it for years and years, and I think that Naruto and Sasuke would have eventually gotten to a point where they would constantly fight each other and kind of try to one-up each other when it comes to everything. I think that Itachi would have definitely gotten to know Naruto, at least in terms of name and like seeing him often fighting his brother, enough to know who Naruto is and have a little bit of a closer understanding to what he is later on for the story, that I think would definitely be beneficial for Naruto to be like, what, like you're Itachi, like to actually know who Itachi is, you know what I mean? But regardless though, I think that once Sasuke's family would end up actually being slaughtered by the Uchiha massacre, I do think that this would definitely cause a lot of hindrance when it comes to Naruto and Sasuke's rivalry, because I think that once this happens, Sasuke wouldn't be as focused on Naruto as he would be on actually defeating his brother. So Sasuke's goals would become a lot more hardened, and so he would begin to train not for this goal of beating Naruto, but to actually avenge his clan. Sasuke would change his whole demeanor, and for a couple of years would actually not begin to talk to Naruto, completely ignore him, and just change as a whole person. It would feel kind of like when Kakashi lost his father and he just kind of changed entirely, and Naruto would actually ask Kakashi about this, being like, why is he so different? Like, I understand his family died, but I figured after a week he might be able to bounce back. And Kakashi would kind of sit Naruto down and explain to him what that feels like, telling him the story of his father, Sakumo Hatake, who was even fabled to be even more powerful than the 3 legendary Sannin, which would actually completely stun Naruto and catch him by surprise. And Naruto would be completely shocked, being like, wow, like that must be a big deal. Like, you must have been proud of your dad. Kakashi smiles and would be like, yeah, I was proud of him. He was a great guy. And Naruto would kind of go on to say that, yeah, he was great, but I doubt he's as good as his son. And, from here, Kakashi gives him the little eye smile once more. And what would end up happening after this, I think, would be that Naruto would kind of understand and leave Sasuke alone. And this would kind of tie into a couple of years passing, where eventually Naruto, once he sees that Sasuke stops caring about the glory and stuff like that, Naruto would think himself to be the strongest in the classroom. However, this time around, Sasuke's training even harder than he would have in the original, because he knows that there's actually competition, somebody there who was working just as hard as him. So Sasuke would actually be not a lot, but a little bit stronger than Naruto, because of the training that he would put in. And once they get to the days of the graduation, Sasuke would actually be stronger than Naruto by a noticeable amount. Like he could beat him at things in a fight and stuff like that. And I think that this is going to be a very, very big thing, just because I think that generally speaking, having Naruto get beat by Sasuke after kind of becoming competent with his power and kind of becoming complacent would kind of serve as a really cool wake-up call moment for Naruto. But regardless, graduation would be right around the corner, and Naruto would just be in his desk sitting down as, he listens to Iruka explain everything, and eventually he overhears a conversation between Mizuki and some random student. Now, I'm not going to be going too in depth when it comes to the Mizuki and the scroll arc. That was the first episode pretty much, but all I'm really going to be saying is that Naruto would definitely intervene and actually be able to kick Mizuki's butt without the use of 1,000 shadow clones. However, I do think that Naruto, because he would still have that little bit of rebellious nature inside of him, that's something that we just can't take away, would still actually have the chance to learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu and use it to actually create a couple of clones, but not use that to actually ultimately defeat Mizuki. Once Mizuki ends up arriving at the kid, Iruka would end up arriving and trying to save him, but Naruto would end up actually getting in the way and actually defeating Mizuki, once Iruka would actually end up getting damaged by Mizuki, and it would look like Mizuki is the stronger of the both. Right, so Naruto would definitely come in clutch for the day, using a couple of jutsus that he would have learned from Kakashi, as well as taijutsu that would actually overwhelm Mizuki to actually defeat the ninja and bring him to justice, with Hiruzen thanking Naruto and actually compensating him with a cash reward, because it is actually something similar to what a mission would be like. And I think that, in the original, Hiruzen probably should have paid Naruto for taking him out, but we're not sure if he did or didn't. Regardless though, the day would come of the graduation, and Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke would find themselves in the classroom as the last people, seeing as their sensei still hasn't arrived. And no, we're not going to be changing anything about Kakashi's character. He's still him. So regardless of whether Naruto is his godson or whatever, he's still not going to be showing up. He doesn't care, bro. Kakashi is literally just built different. And so he would still be late, and Naruto, knowing this, would have actually taken the time to get up and leave the classroom for an entire hour, coming back after having eaten some ramen, and Sasuke would have wondered why he felt so comfortable leaving, that the sensei would have gotten there. But Naruto, knowing Kakashi and how he is, would not really care and not tell anything to anybody regarding Kakashi actually being his sort of quote-unquote father figure or brotherly figure, you know what I mean? And so Naruto would actually end up just kind of, once Kakashi arrives, not pulling a prank or anything, and instead just making his way toward the rooftop where Kakashi would feel free to explain everything to them. Once he explains everything, they would all kind of have an understanding of, okay, let's not eat anything. And because Naruto's been around the block long enough to notice that, they definitely should eat something, Kakashi would pull a smart move and get rid of all of it. Use ceiling tags to actually close the cabinet so Naruto 100% can't eat, seeing as he already knows that, that's a little bit of a trick. However, one thing that Kakashi has made sure to note of is not to tell him what the bell test is or how to actually beat it, because that would just be unfair. And if he does win, it wouldn't be because he wanted to, but because he knew how to, and he just kind of had an unfair advantage. So I do think that they're all going to be going into this blind, and the way that I see this happening is Naruto would end up making his way about 2 hours after the time was to get there, right? He gets there late, however, he still gets there earlier than Kakashi, and Kakashi, who would have been watching from the bushes, would already know that. And what I see happening here is essentially Kakashi just beginning to explain the bell test procedures and how everything's gonna go. After that, I see Naruto and Sasuke both trying to essentially compete and outwork each other, and as soon as Kakashi would finish the countdown, I definitely see Naruto and Sasuke rushing at Kakashi before he even gets to 1, and them both pretty much getting taken down immediately, with Kakashi actually showing a glimpse of his full power and both of them realizing that he's pretty strong. Sasuke, being the person that he is, would think that he has more than what it takes to actually defeat Kakashi, and so he would try to go in by himself, with Naruto thinking to himself that there's no way he could beat Kakashi, trying to think outside the box of what's the purpose, and then he thinks, you know what, I don't have to beat him, just steal a bell. So he thinks, you know what, it might be possible. But knowing the fact that none of Kakashi's teams have ever passed, Naruto is actually genuinely worried, because he knows that just because Kakashi is his brotherly figure, he's not going to let him pass. If anything, he's going to make it harder on him because of the fact that Kakashi knows how hard Naruto works. So that's something that we're definitely going to be having to take into account. And Naruto and Sasuke, I can see them both blatantly trying to fight one another during this, as Naruto would try to get in the way and try to essentially help out. But what actually would end up happening is pretty much that each one of them would end up getting in each other's ways, and ultimately would lead all of them to pretty much get put on the stump. And not all of them, but Naruto and Sasuke. And because this time around Naruto and Sasuke are the ones on the stump, I think that Sakura this time around would actually come in clutch. Like, this is the most uncommon Sakura W. But I think that because Sakura doesn't hate Naruto and she loves Sasuke, I think that once she hears Naruto and Sasuke's stomachs grumble, she, against the words of Kakashi, would end up feeding both of them. And this is what would essentially lead Team 7 to be formed this Team 7. As soon as the team would end up passing and, you know, everything would be said and done and they all go home and Kakashi tells them the lesson of the day, the quote of the day, which just comes from Obito, how a ninja, you know, is worse than scum and all that, yada, yada, yada. But regardless, I definitely see a very, very intimate scene between Naruto. Okay, pause. But I definitely do see like a close scene between Naruto and Kakashi going as soon as they get home. I see something like Kakashi putting his stuff down and Naruto going off into the other room trying to just chill, but Kakashi would actually stop him, right? And this is when they would kind of have a little bit of a heart-to-heart moment where Kakashi would ask Naruto why he's been slacking with his training. And Naruto looks at him and he's like, what are you talking about, Kakashi? And, you know, Kakashi finally is like, you've clearly been slacking off on your training. Before, you and Sasuke were practically equal, on the same level. But recently I've noticed that you've stopped training as often as you used to, and you kind of got a bit complacent. Well, all I need to tell you is that Sasuke actually was able to catch me off guard more times than you have. So if you don't be careful, Sasuke's gonna end up actually beating you. Naruto wouldn't think that that's the case and would kind of just cockily say, nah, there's no way that Sasuke could beat me. He's been out of the running for Rookie of the Year for so long. I mean, look at me, I was the rookie. And Kakashi says it's not about that. That hard work will always beat talent. And Sasuke also has talent, so he can't just calm down and let his guard down when it comes to the shinobi world. That it's a cruel place out there, and that if he doesn't work hard, his opponents will work harder than him and beat him 10 times out of 10 times. And Naruto would kind of let this kind of go to heart, you know what I mean? And once he hears that, Kakashi would then say, but that's not everything, Naruto. The real reason that I wanted to talk to you was because I think you're finally ready for a secret that I've been... sorry guys. He'd be like, is because I've been holding a secret from you, right? And Naruto would kind of look at him and be like, what's the secret, Kakashi? And Kakashi would just look at Naruto and be like, look, I know who your father is. You know, in fact, I actually used to train under him. Much like you're going to be in part of my team, I was once a part of your father's team growing up. And that's what I think that you're finally ready to learn. During your early years, I never told you because I didn't want you to get cocky or think that everything in your life was all set up for you. But I think that you're old enough and mature enough to understand this. Your father, Naruto, was the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. And Naruto was like, what? The Lord 4th? Lord Quicksilver? He was my father? Kakashi would be like, he was. He begins nodding and then going on to explain more and more, going into details about how his father was in the early years growing up, how it was like to be in the team that he was once in, that he was actually part of Team 7 such a long time ago, and tell him the story of how his team actually all died because they weren't actually using real teamwork, that they were just let slide, telling Naruto to not commit the same mistakes that he did, and also giving him the motivation that Naruto kind of needs to want to be stronger, to want to pursue higher limits of power. Because before, Naruto was complacent, thinking, oh, I'm an exceptional ninja. But why be an exceptional ninja when your father was even greater than you? Like, that's the goal of anybody, to surpass their fathers. And now Naruto has a clear goal in his mind and a reason to kind of begin working harder than ever, a reason to stop being complacent, a reason to stop thinking that, oh, just because he's this, he can finally calm down. No, Naruto this time around would look to Kakashi and say, I had no idea. I wish I never stopped training. At this moment, my father probably was training, and that's why he became as strong as he did. Kakashi would say that his father was quite like no other shinobi, and that he was one of the strongest the world's ever seen. Naruto would look up at Kakashi, and with a smirk on his face would say, you know what, Kakashi? You know what, bro? I swear on everything in this world, someday I'll surpass the 4th Hokage. I'll surpass my father.